All right. Good morning, everyone. And welcome to my channel, guys, where I take you through my life, my job, life too, as a small business owner. And I put a lot of emphasis on this channel on how discipline creates financial freedom. That's right. How discipline creates financial freedom. If you've been following my channel, I've been talking a lot about the ETFs and some stocks that I invest in and how it's growing. All right, I'm actually doing pretty well. Okay, no complaints there. But today I want to talk a little bit about budgeting. All right, and budgeting can be done by people as old as me, 42 years old, people older than me, and then people actually very, very young. All right, so basically it could be done by everybody. So just a small story, right? Recently I sold one of my cargo vans, and I sold it to somebody for $4,500, right? And it was a good sale, right? It was definitely better than nothing. The car was worth a lot more than that, but hey, look, at the end of the day, $4,500 for a used cargo van in excellent shape is not a bad sale. Now, I've been going back and forth on how I want to utilize that $4,500, right? I can do so many different things with it, but that's not what it's about. It's about taking the discipline and smart approach to managing that $4,500. So what I did is I asked ChatGPT. That's right. I told ChatGPT all the things that I need to pay for, what are some things that I owe, blah, blah, blah. And ChatGPT gave me a very good breakdown of how to break down that $4,500. They were right on the money. I also asked the partner, what would they do? Because they know my situation. What would they do with the $4,500? And they also gave me, some great tips and advice. But for some reason, looking at both of those situations, I wasn't 100% satisfied. I just needed another feeling inside of me. So today's video, guys, I'm going to take you guys through what I did to budget that $4,500. Okay? I'm going to take you guys through my thought process, and I hope that you guys can utilize this video when it comes to breaking stuff down, doing the right thing, and moving yourself one step closer to financial freedom. All right, guys, you guys check this out. All right. So when I look at what I have going on, right, I have an income property, or I have a property that I own that's generating income. Everything is paid, and I make a little extra off that. So that's not an issue, okay? I have a truck that you guys are looking at right now. I have about, the last time I checked, I got about $23,000 left to pay on this one. I always exceed the minimum payments, and everything is going well with this truck. This truck actually is not even eating up anything. I have a credit card balance of $3,000, and the credit card balance is a business credit card. So it's not like I use the card to spend it on clothes or any nonsense. It literally just pays for the vehicle insurance, I use it to pay the Easy Pass, well, the tolls, Easy Pass, and then I also use it for goods and supplies pertaining to the vehicle. Okay. In addition, I do have a trip coming up that's now been canceled. I have a $1,500 budget for that trip. And then I have my daughter's Custodial account. And I think I'm going to do a video on a Custodial account, 529 account for kids, maybe a little bit later on at some point. I also have a partner who gives me a lot of advice, very supportive in my business and what I do. And then that's literally all of my expenses, right? I have is the circumference, the pinpoint of where I'm going to allocate the $4,500 to. All right, so I chose that direction, right? Because remember, credit cards in general generate the, oh man, god damn, I'm always spilling something, man. That's why I hate doing these mulch orders. Jesus. So credit cards in general, right, generate over 20%. I don't know what the numbers are for you guys, but my business credit card carries an interest rate of 27%. It is what it is. It's just what it is. I'm not complaining. It's not like I have $20,000 on a business credit card. I actually know what it is. Okay, and then my truck has an insurance rate of 8.7%. So it's very important that I allocated more money for the higher interest situations than the lower interest or the no interest situations. Okay. So if you're at home and again, and you're working on that budget, you're trying to figure out what to do with that large lump sum of money, my recommendation is to go for the large items or situations that are giving you too much interest. All right, so now you can take it, bud. Thank you, man. Now I could go for the 23,000, right? Go for the vehicle is 23,000, is a lot more than the 3,000 business credit card. 100% true. So my recommendation is to go for the situation with the highest interest. Go ahead and knock that out because it's gonna help you out a little bit more in the long run. And if you get a chance to pay that off a whole lot faster, please just do it. Just do it. About the next allocation. And the next allocation is the truck. The last time I checked, I believe I owed, let's just say about 24 grand on the truck. All right. Minimum payments for the truck is $620 every month. I usually pay $800 a month. So I pay well over the minimum payment. The first of the month, I paid $400. I paid $400 already on May 1st. And then my plan was to pay another $400 on the 15th of the month. Now, I got the $4,500. So you know what that means? That means we make an extra payment, or we pay well above the minimum, or we pay well above what we originally usually pay, because we have the funds. So what I decided to do, I dropped $1,300 on the truck. You add $1,300 already to the $400 that we already paid, it comes out to a win. That's a total of $1,700 that I put towards the truck for a minimum payment that's $620. Now, I did the math. Usually the interest that they charge me per month comes around $161 to $180. So that's gonna well oversee that. And I'm so happy about that. I really thought about dropping the whole $4,500 on the truck, but I realized since I'm doing so well with it already and I'm not complaining, let's go ahead and let's just drop $1,300 plus the $400, $1,700 on the truck, and that's bringing my total balance to right around $23,000. This is a win. And I just want to add on that the interest rate for the truck is 8.9%. The interest rate on the credit card is 20%. So I decided to allocate more funds to the higher paying item, and then maybe number two, bring it to the lower paying item, whatever the words you guys want to use. This is all a win, folks, and I'm really happy about that. All right. The next allocation is pretty easy, and that's my trip fund. For the trip, I made a budget of $1,500. And when I say a budget, I literally mean I'm not spending a dime over $1,500. Anybody knows something about me, they know I'm a man of my word. And when I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna flat out do it. So this is a personal trip, it's not a business trip, okay? So this one does not go towards the business. This one just goes to personal. So I paid $1,000 for a 5-night, 4-day stay. And if it's $1,000, right, with a $1,500 budget, that means I have $500 left of spending money. So if we look at the $4,500, I'm going to allocate $500 of the $4,500, and that's going to go to what I call the trip fund. Okay? I literally am not going to go over $500 of spending on that trip. This one was pretty easy. When you guys are going on these summer trips, these whatever kind of events, allocate, budget, figure out what you guys are going to spend money on. Sit down, punch some numbers, and stick to your budget. At the end of the day, remember, discipline creates financial freedom. All right, that one was easy. So let's wrap this up. There's a few more allocations to talk about, but I'm just going to talk about them all together. I have a partner who puts gas in her tank. So I gave her $70. That should cover a full tank of gas, and you know, to go out for lunch and stuff like that. Obviously she can get more, but she doesn't need much, so just gave her $70. I put $100 into my daughter's custodial account. Now every month I allocate $100 to put in her custodial account. I already did that on May 1st, so I'm able to put another $100, so that gives her $200 for her custodial account. So that's awesome. I also allocated $150 that I want to put into creating a garden for her, an at-home garden for her. Something I'm very, very excited about. I think it'd be cool to do like a little father thing with her. Now I know she's only 2 years old, but you know, kind of looking forward to that, you know. So I allocated $150 to go to my daughter's little in-home garden. I also put an undisclosed amount of money into paying off the IRS. Small business owners, you guys know what I'm talking about. So I just made that payment. That was no problem. And then that should be it, man. You know, I put $100 into my daughter's custodial account. I gave my partner $70 to go to gas for the week. Well, just gas in general, and then some leftover money for food for the week. And then I was also able to pay the IRS, and that's where I am. Okay, I literally budgeted every bit of that $4,500, and it's all going exactly where I want it to go. Guys, I can talk your head off about this all day long. Discipline creates financial freedom. You guys have to stay locked in, and you have to reduce that debt. The debt is going to be the thing that's going to hold you back from achieving great things. It's just one of those things you have to be able to do. I want to thank you guys for watching my channel and listening to me. I know I could be repetitive, but I care. Thank you guys so much, and peace.